Hey, what's going on, guys? We are going to talk about taking care of business the rest of the year, getting you guys on better financial footing, and making so you can make 25 your best year ever. Okay. So, a couple things. I think that we are going to be in a very pro business environment the next 4 years, but there's a lot of things that we have to fix. Okay. Before we talk about what we have to do on a macro level, meaning the country, entrepreneurs in general, and things like that, we really have to focus on being the best version of us, right? What does that mean? It means not carrying a lot of debt or paying off your debt, especially credit cards, personal, getting your credit as high as it can be, making sure your business is running on all cylinders, um, and being smart and being wise and really making sure that everything you do is with the intent behind growing, getting better, and making an impact. Okay. And the reason why I say this is like everyone has been so caught up with what the elections have been. And yes, I'm also guilty of that. Okay. Everyone should be because it really does matter.
Awareness.
But the reality is that person is not going to make or break you. You are going to make or break you with your decisions, your commitment, or your lack thereof. Okay. And so, what I would suggest to everybody, and my main message this morning, is get all your ducks in order and make sure that everybody is pushing in the right direction. Because I do think that the opportunities that are going to present themselves in 25 and on will be great unless we don't take care of business. Okay. What do I mean by taking care of business? Once your personal stuff is in order and your business is in order and your team's in order, what's going on in the macro environment, there's a lot of things that we have to do, a lot of things we have to take care of. I think that anyone that doesn't represent the people on either side of the aisle, by the way, guys, this is not a political statement. And so, as like Republican versus Democrat, they have to go. Okay. They have to go. Like what happened in the Senate where everyone wanted Rick Scott and they pushed in the other two, that can't be. Okay. That is almost borderline treasonous. So that shit has to go.
Mhm.
All the global conflicts, we have to kind of cool them off. When I mean cool them off, just stop them, stop funding them, stop sending money overseas. If you guys start looking at some of the stuff coming out of the Department of Government Efficiency, you're going to get really mad realizing where they've been spending your money. Um,
Dumb
I
shit.
actually, dude, I would tell you not to look at it. It made me irate this morning.
Yeah,
Literally irate. They spent I think 800,000 trying to figure out why monkeys throw shit at each other. I'm not kidding. I'm not, and that's not even, dude. That's not even the worst one. So they injected hamsters with steroids, and this was multiple six figures. This is like 10 grand. But I could fucking run this experiment with $500. Okay, so if you don't connect the dots, they spent 300 or 400 or 500,000 on hamsters, injecting them with steroids and seeing how they would fight. I could do it with $500, and there's no reason to do it. I mean, that's animal cruelty, okay? But the reason they're bringing this stuff up is not to show you how ridiculous it is and get you upset, and that is the point, and that should happen. The people that are writing these bills are pocketing that money.
Yeah.
Okay? This shit has to stop. This is why we're broke. This is why we pay 40% in taxes. Okay? 50% in taxes. It's crazy. So that is not, and the bigger things are like taking care of the stuff that's going on with bricks. Okay? Like,
I'm gonna ask you about that, by the way.
ask, what's your question? Because I rather,
Where do you see that going? Is the weight of the world, and obviously the world's on notice with things that are changing or stopping or getting prepared for a change of power. Do you see the bricks crumble? I don't want to say crumble, but kind of slow down and dissipate, and the dollar makes a surgence back into the world's currency or trading line?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I'll give you a list of probabilities. I don't want to tell you what it is.
Right.
So I think the list of probabilities. First off, everything we're saying and discussing is under the assumption that he's inaugurated between now and the 6th, and everything's fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
Gotta get there first, obviously.
we got to get we got to get there first. I think we will start playing nicer with these people, but here's the reality: it's just the size of the economies. The fact that you have Russia, India, China on one side, and then we're on the other one. Yes, we are the biggest consumer, okay, which gives us power because we buy stuff from them, and if we change that, that's going to really hurt them and devastate them. So there is a little bit of give and take with this, okay? But at the end of the day, we're either going to play nice with BRICS or we're not, and it is a big deal being the world reserve currency. So if we're not going to play nice with them, are we going to be cordial or is it going to be a dogfight?
Mm-hmm.
And let's just pretend it's either one of those two options. What can we do? What should we do as a country to get our dollar back where it needs to be? First off, back it up with gold. We took it off the gold standard so we could print. Back it up with gold and natural resources. You know, people forget we confiscated a lot of Bitcoin from the Silk Road. We still have that. I don't think it was all liquidated. All right. Making some type of corporate treasury or U.S. treasury with that, doing away with the IRS would be a great step. I don't think, I hope they do. I don't think they will, but they should. Okay. And then the other thing is if we get spending under control, and this is the biggest thing, if we get spending under control and we bring down the deficit, our dollar strengthens. And if our dollar strengthens, well, now it's just a dogfight against, you know, BRICS, right? The reason I would be concerned about our currency is if it devalues or isn't the world reserve currency. Okay. If we actually can reverse some of the spending and some of the debt, it's a little bit makes it harder to attack. It makes the dollar more valuable. Okay. And these are things that could have long lasting effects. Now, this is all speculation. What do I know? I'm a dumb fucking sales guy who has an economics degree that runs businesses and helps people grow their business. Okay. I'm a dumbass. What do I know? But I may have gotten a couple of things right.
But so is everybody else. So
yeah.
You're just dumb. They're probably dumber than you.
Maybe. So what else you got on that, Dave?
So all right, let's go back to making the dollar strong and the world reserve currency. What effect does, you know, you talk about getting back on the gold standard and natural resources. You know,
they're not going to do that, by the way.
Yeah, well, you're right. You're probably more than
That's
right.
not going to happen. What I gave you was very idealistic. What I do think happens is they cut spending, they strengthen the dollar, but the fact that you have the size of the economies, and you also have to look at the projections too, right? Mm-hmm. We're looking at today what is populations, whose economy is what size, okay? But the rate of growth that you see in, like, let's say India and China, okay? They're going to have way more people. Their economy is going to grow. Okay. That, and the fact that if you're looking at this as a battleground and it's a scale, well, the fact that you got Russia, India, China on one side, okay, and just us on the other, it's a little tough.
What effect do you see? You know, obviously everybody gets in January. What do you see? Obviously, you know, day one, more than likely, you know, they're going to turn the pipe back on. We're going to be independent in oil again. But then what happens if we start becoming a big exporter, right? What effect does that have in that reserve currency, if any at all?
Oh, it does. It would be helpful as long as we are the world reserve currency. And if we're exporting, by the way, we dictate where we're going to be dictating what we're settling transactions in.
Right.
Okay. They're buying from us. They're going to have to buy in our currency. I don't think we would allow them to buy in their currency. I'm not sure on that. Someone can fact check me, but I'm pretty sure. So that would be a very, very big net positive. Here's the one thing that I think is happening already. We're starting to see a little bit more economic and consumer confidence, which is great because it was through the floor. I do think that where the economy is not in a great spot right now. Okay. You see the markets taking off. You see Bitcoin taking off. You see all these things going and taking off, right? But the underlying fundamentals of our economy right now are not good. It's not good for the average small business owner.
Mm-mm.
Most of them.
Yeah.
So we all have to fight through that. That's why I'm saying you got to handle your own stuff first. You got to handle your team stuff first before you can really lock in and do the rest of the things that you need to do.
Yeah, I think you got to still start run now. And if anything, if it's taught you anything over the last 4 years, because we've had it allegedly so good for so long, which obviously we know it can even be better than those times, right? Just based on that government terrible fucking spending alone, all that waste of money. But one thing I think that's going to teach a lot of people is don't lay off the gas, because hey, that 4 years could also be gone in an instant. Something happens in the world and then all of a sudden you shift back to the craziness, So I think in a positive note, it's making people realize, hey man, there could be times that where in a short period of time, in a short window, we could be back to this craziness again. So I think people realize to put their foot on the gas, but also be aware and keep kind of the same fundamentals that look like are going to happen now and for the next 8, 12, 16 years, and hopefully so on. And it doesn't have to be sides either. It's an American thing, right? It's not a left or a right thing. Like, let's just be honest, like that's it's the American way. Like, get back to that, not all this shit, whatever you want to call it. One thing I think too, get your opinion on this, like with Elon and Vivek putting out all this crazy waste stuff. You see it as a way to kind of always look in the future as, hey, if they run it, everybody runs again, or whoever runs, hey, remember what we did? Hey, remember what you were getting? You're spending money on hamsters. You're spending money on, I don't even want to speculate. If I threw out something fake right now, I guarantee it's probably on there anyway. That's how absurd it is.
Probably on.
Yeah. And then
I think it's ripping everything down to bare bones.
Yeah.
Okay. Think about it. If this was a corporate turnaround, right? What first thing you're doing is just assessing where everything is, where are the holes in the boat, what is the bare minimum things we need to function to move forward, and how can we slash and dash everything that isn't of value. Okay. That's and I don't know that's how they're approaching it, but that's how I would approach it.
Like Twitter.
Okay? Yeah. And then, yeah, exactly. And then you got to basically go through and limit power. Anyone that was abusing power, anyone that was a traitor, you got to set that fucking example, right? And once we have confidence in the country again, and once we have confidence in the government, I think we could take off to levels we've never seen. But we are very far way away from that, and I don't even think that happens. I'll be real with you. In 4 years, it's going to depend on the first 2 years, how much gets done, and then when all the guys get primaried out, see how it goes the next 2 years, and we could be well on our way, but you never know. Like, I think it matters more the culture and how we do as individuals that contribute and lead into the bigger picture. Okay. So if we are all healthy, if we are all fit, kind of like what Andy says, healthy, fit, financially stable, okay, we bring God back into our lives, okay, that will go, that will go a very, very, very long way in creating a much better culture and a much better environment for everybody. It doesn't matter, what side of the aisle you are on. If we all have higher standards, okay, everyone's going to do better. Everyone's going to support each other more. And listen, I'll tell you, like, I get the FEMA bullshit with that was politicized. I don't even want to talk about that. Okay, I want to talk about the people, right? Let's just say no matter what happened past in the election, one of the things that I really loved and gave me a lot of hope before the election is the shit that happened with the hurricanes. Seeing how everyone came together in North Carolina, seeing how many people came together here in Florida to help, that showed that we still care. That culture is still there, right? I think just people have been beaten down so much with all the bullshit and the nonsense that people kind of forgot it and kind of withdrew in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just time to unite again and come together, and I think that will happen over time. I mean, the loudest voices in the room, it's a small minority. They haven't realized yet that, hey, the majority spoke. say what you want. Like the people spoke, and that's it. You accept it, you come together and move on. But I think the right side of things, they're in place. Hey, they're forgiving. Come on in. We'll accept. We're not going to bash you for your ideology, but hey, this is the way it is. This is the way we're going to move forward. Let's come together. How everything used to be. What's up?
Unless you're a communist, there's no room for that.
Wow, yeah, obviously, that's wood chipper stuff. 100%. But no, but I mean, come together, man, and let's make this thing work. And you're right, you are seeing that. You're seeing people. All the shit you see on the internet, you never see in public.
No, never, ever. In fact, people are usually much nicer in public.
100%, man. They don't want you to see the public anyway. They want you to see all the bullshit on the internet and keep fighting.
I actually believe, and I'm going to end with this. I actually believe that some of the most destructive technology we've ever had is our phones.
100%. 100%. And social media.
Yep. And listen, I've built my companies on social media. It's very tough to say that it's brutal, but it is. It's the truth.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Listen, appreciate you. Catch you on Mindset Monday. Dave, I'll catch you later, brother.
Got it. Be great, y'all.
Oh, wait, I got to end the stream first.